Blücher was born on December 21, 1742, in the Baltic port city of Rostock, in what was then the Duchy of Mecklenburg-Schwerin. His father, Christian Friedrich von Blücher, was a retired army captain. Growing up in a noble family, Blücher's path to a military career seemed almost predestined. At the age of 16, Blücher began his military career by joining the Swedish army as a hussar during the 7 Years' War. He was captured by the Prussian hussars in 1760, but rather than being sent home, he was impressed into the Prussian army by Colonel Wilhelm Sebastian von Belling, a distant relative. This twist of fate set the stage for Blücher's future legendary status. Blücher's military career was marked by both valor and controversy. He gained considerable experience in light cavalry work during the 7 Years' War. However, his fiery temperament led to a series of unfortunate events, including a mock execution of a priest, which stymied his career progress. Frustrated, he resigned in 1773 after being passed over for promotion. After his resignation, Blücher turned to farming, achieving financial independence within 15 years and becoming a Freemason. The death of Frederick the Great in 1786 allowed Blücher to re-enter military service. Reinstated as a major, his career began to ascend once again. During the Napoleonic Wars, Blücher's indomitable spirit truly shone. In the disastrous campaign of 1806, he fought valiantly at the double battle of Jena-Auerstedt. Despite leading numerous charges at Auerstedt, his efforts couldn't turn the tide against the superior French forces. The Prussian army was decisively defeated, and Blücher found himself commanding the rearguard during the subsequent chaotic retreat. After the capitulation of the main Prussian forces at Prenzlau, Blücher managed to evade capture temporarily by retreating towards Lübeck. Reinforcing his numbers with a division from Karl August, Grand Duke of Saxe-Weimar, Blücher reorganized his forces. However, he was again defeated at the Battle of Lübeck on November 6, 1806, and was forced to surrender at Ratekau the next day. Despite these setbacks, Blücher's determination never wavered. Blücher's resilience paid off during the War of Liberation in 1813. As commander of the Army of Silesia, Blücher led his troops with unmatched energy. His decisive victory at the Battle of Katzbach on August 26, 1813, against Marshal MacDonald's forces, demonstrated his aggressive tactics and earned him the nickname Marshal Forwards. Following this, Blücher played a crucial role in the Battle of Leipzig, also known as the Battle of the Nations, in October 1813. The Battle of Leipzig, the largest clash of the Napoleonic Wars, brought together enormous armies in a struggle that would shape European history. The French, under Napoleon, fielded around 160,000 soldiers and 700 guns, augmented by 15,000 Poles, 10,000 Italians, and 40,000 Germans from the Confederation of the Rhine. Despite these numbers, Napoleon's Grande Armée was in a weakened state. Many of his soldiers were inexperienced conscripts. The coalition, however, was a formidable force, with a total of 380,000 troops and 1,500 guns. Among the coalition forces were 90,000 Prussians, commanded by Blücher. On the northern front, the Battle of Mürken became a crucial and fiercely contested engagement. The French utilized every advantage, creating loopholes in the walls for covered fire. The terrain to the west, too wooded and swampy, was unsuitable for artillery placement. Meanwhile, a 4-meter-high dike ran east along the Elster River, providing a natural defensive barrier. Marshal Marmont strategically positioned infantry columns behind the fortifications, ready to launch swift counterattacks if any positions fell. Opposing him, Blücher commanded a formidable force, including Langeron's Russian corps and York's Prussian corps. As the battle reached a critical point, Marmont ordered a cavalry charge to break the stalemate. However, his cavalry commander refused to advance, impacting the French defense. The tide turned when Prussian hussars launched a daring attack, inflicting heavy casualties on the French defenders. The fighting continued fiercely into the night, with both sides sustaining significant losses. 9,000 Allied and 7,000 French. Additionally, the French suffered the loss of 2,000 prisoners. The battle marked a turning point in the war, forcing Napoleon to retreat into France. The 1814 campaign saw Blücher at the forefront of the Allied invasion of France. Despite several defeats at the hands of Napoleon at Champaubert, Montmirail, and Vauchamp in February 1814, Blücher's unyielding spirit never faltered. He regrouped and delivered a crushing blow to Napoleon at the Battle of Laon on March 9, 1814, effectively weakening the French resistance. With Napoleon's return from exile in 1815, Blücher was once again called into action. At the Battle of Ligny on June 16, 1815, Blücher's Prussian army faced Napoleon's forces. Despite a valiant effort, the Prussians were defeated, and Blücher was injured after being trapped under his horse. Nevertheless, his determination did not waver. After recuperating, Blücher rejoined his army and made a crucial decision to support Wellington at the Battle of Waterloo on June 18, 1815. His arrival on the battlefield in the late afternoon was decisive. Leading his troops through muddy terrain, Blücher's intervention shattered the French lines, ensuring a resounding victory for the Allies and ending Napoleon's rule once and for all. Following the victory, Blücher pursued the retreating French forces relentlessly, contributing to the final downfall of Napoleon. The Allied armies entered Paris on July 7, 1815, marking the end of the Napoleonic Wars. After the war, Blücher retired to his estate in Silesia. Despite his age and infirmities, he continued to be a celebrated figure. He made another visit to England, where he was honored for his contributions to the defeat of Napoleon. Blücher died on September 12, 1819, at his residence in Kriblowitz. Although his mausoleum was desecrated during World War II, his legacy endures. Gebhard von Blucher was a symbol of tenacity and unyielding spirit. His contributions to the Napoleonic Wars were pivotal in shaping the course of European history. Special thanks to Kim Dae-hyun for creating the thumbnail for this video. Check out his socials in the video description.